give it a go. Who starts? You? Okay.
All rise. Your honorable judge is entering to the court.
Please be seated. The court is now in session. Please bring the jury in. The record will show the presence of the jury, the defendant, and the lawyer. For the state, Mr. Juan Martinez, and for the defendant, Mr. Jennifer Wilmot and Kim Nurmi. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for your patience with us. Today we are here to define the guiltiness in the case CR 2008-03-10-21-001 in the state of Arizona versus Jodi Arias for the charge of first-degree murder. The jury will deliberate if Jodi Arias will obtain a death penalty or life in prison. In representation of the state, the prosecutor, Juan Martinez, and the representation of the defendant, Mrs. Jodi Arias, the attorney, Kermit Norman, and Jennifer Wilmot. We are going to begin with opening statements. The state is ready?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, are you ready?
Yes, Your Honor.
You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. In representation of the state, Prosecutor Juan Martin. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, members of the jury. Today, we have a case in which a woman killed in a cold blood and heartlessly way her ex-boyfriend, stabbing him 29 times in multiple parts of his body, only to later finish him off with a shot in his head. This is not a case of whodunit. The person who committed this killing sits in court today, Jodi Arias. And the person she done it to is an individual by the name of Travis Alexander. An individual who was a good man, and she rewards his love by sticking a knife in his chest and slitting his throat from ear to ear. And according to her, he was a blessing, and she showed this by putting a bullet in his head. On June 4, 2008, she took his life because of her jealousy. She went to Travis's home, and they had sex all noon, and took pictures of it, posing for each other. Pictures of Travis in the shower were taken around 5 p.m. The last picture of him alive was taken on 5:29 p.m. Not only was he very much alive, he was involved in these photographs with a woman. And yes, they were both singing. They were nude, and they were engaged in sexual relations in these photographs. At one point, it seems like the camera drops, and the next set of photos are the ones the killer doesn't want taken, but document when Alexander was attacked. When they first met, they fell in love and started this formal relationship that suddenly began to be other thing. She started to check on his phone by hacking his email and Facebook to see what she could find, perhaps hoping to find another woman that Travis could be seeing. And this led Mr. Travis to break up this toxic relationship. This relationship in which this woman stalked him and got nudes over him. And that's why Miss Arias killed this honorable man. This man who had a normal life, a hardworking man, loved by his family and friends. He had a big future ahead of him, and he was strong in his beliefs. And all of this was destroyed because of this woman, because of this girl sitting on court. A person that says that she loved this man, and that lies more than once just to protect herself. Your Honor, jury, this woman, this horrible woman, killed a man. And there's no doubt that she will do it again. Because, Your Honor, this woman is crazy. And I will demonstrate it through all this trial, so Travis Alexander can rest in peace and justice can be made. During this trial, the defense will try to convince all of you that Miss Arias was abused from Mr. Alexander, and that she had no other choice but to kill him. Miss Arias will try to manipulate your minds to make you believe that she's the victim of this case. But her words are full of lies, and I would prove that this was a premeditated murder and that she planned all of this. Now, Your Honor, I will present as evidence, as exhibit, the video of the interview with Detective Flores, photographs which will be used to prove the guiltiness of this woman, and testimonies of Samantha Alexander, Steven Alexander, Detective Flores, Elizabeth Norton, Dr. Janine DeMarte, and Michael Allen. All this evidence will bend over the trial. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, prosecutor, and the defense may proceed.
Good morning, Your Honor, jury. Jodi Arias killed Travis Alexander. There's no question about it. The real question is what would have forced her to do it? Well, Jodi Arias was in danger. And she was in danger because Mr. Travis Alexander. Yes, you may all think that this man was a good, honorable, and kind man. And I can say good stuff about him just as the prosecution said. But the truth is that he was an abusive and controlling man. He abused and controlled Miss Arias and forced her to do it what she did. She acted in self-defense because he knocked her to the ground in the bedroom where there was a struggle. And Miss Arias did something that was just to defend herself. And if she did not have done this, she would be dead. She knew that the only thing that calms her down was sex. And you may all think, why sex is relevant in this case? Well, you know that in Mormon religion, which is the religion that Miss Travis practiced, is prohibited and banned. And he forced her to do sex, and not only type of sex, but anal and oral sex. Because a person that has suffered for so much pain, he forced her to do that. Mr. Travis Alexander was an abusive person. Not to mention that Miss Arias suffered from violence since she was a child. Her mother abused from her also as his father. She was affected by this, and she has an illness, a mental illness that is caused because of this. And if she hadn't done this would be different. And it would be Miss Alexander in the stand and Miss Arias dead. I will present as exhibits the testimonies of Dr. Richard Samuels, Ellis, LaViolette, and Elizabeth Dunn. At the time of the prosecution, I will show some photos that would demonstrate how she was abused by Mr. Travis Alexander. And we are here because we want to stop violence. Because it is strange that in this country, we have to pass to this, to the point that someone has to kill someone to defend herself. Thank you, Your Honor.
The state can call their first witness.
The state calls Detective Flores to the stand.
Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear to say the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God?
So help me God.
Please state your name for the record.
Esteban Flores.
Could you identify yourself for the record, please?
Detective Esteban Flores.
What were your impressions about Miss Arias and the involvement of this case?
Objection, personal opinion.
Sustained.
Okay, I will rephrase the question. What did you see in Jodi's behavior during the interview?
Well, it doesn't need too much honesty to realize something is not normal in her. She frequently changed her declarations with unbelievable stories with any common sense. By all this year working in the police department, I have learned to identify who is telling or not the truth, and certainly this is one of these cases.
Your Honor, may I present the video as exhibit number 1?
You may proceed.
Okay. The audio?
Okay. We can cut it.
Okay, go on.
Could you explain us more about these stories that she told you about according to the defendant version? Does her testimony ever match with the evidence found in the crime scene, detective?
Basically, in all the interrogation, she always denied being the murderer of Alexander, even when there was a lot of evidence that proved the contrary. At first, she said she wasn't even in the city the night Alexander was killed. Later on, she confessed that she was indeed in the town, and also was with him when the murder occurred. But she told that 2 masked people who entered the house were the killers, the real killers, who supposedly shot and stabbed Alexander to his death and threatened Jodi of killing her too.
Thank you. No further questions.
Does the defense want to start the cross-examination?
No, Your Honor.
The witness is dismissed. Prosecutor, you may call your next witness.
The defense calls Dr. Richard Samuels to the stand. Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear to say the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
So help me God.
Please state your name for the record.
Richard Samuels.
The mic.
Dr. Samuels, based on your experience, do you think that it's possible that Miss Jodi Arias has memory loss?
Based on my 35 years of experience of analyst, yes. It's a symptom from PTSD.
And can you explain what that is to the audience, please?
Yes, it's a disorder that develops in some people who may have experienced a traumatic experience, and these people may react in a violent way.
Thank you. No further questions, Your Honor.
The state, would you like to cross-examine?
Yes, Your Honor.
You may proceed.
Thank you. So, Dr. Samuels, you do affirm that Miss Arias suffered a trauma that caused her a memory loss. Don't you think that the feelings that you have for the defense lawyer could have affected your
Objection! Speculation!
Sustained. Order in the court.
Okay, I will rephrase it. Is there a possibility that your judgment has been influenced by something? or
Objection!
someone?
Consider testifying.
Sustained. I'm going to ask you to watch your affirmations or else you could get a penalty.
No further question, Your Honor.
Witness, you are dismissed. The state, you may call the next witness.
The state calls Janine Martin to the stand.
Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear to say the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
So help me God.
Please state your name for the record.
Dr. Janine Martin.
Dr. DeMart, how many years of experience do you have in your art?
I'm a clinical psychologist and I have like 5 years of experience.
Okay, Dr. DeMarte, are you agree or disagree with Dr. Samuels saying that Jodi has PTSD?
She does not have PTSD.
And why did you administrate the intelligence test?
Well, when I first started the records, there were indication in this that there was a sense of immaturity. For example, in Miss Arias' booking profile, She kind of smiled like she was in a high school picture rather than you'll see in a typically booking profile picture. So this makes me wonder if she has an intellectual deficit.
So, as a result of this test, did you have a diagnostic at that point?
After looking at the results, I diagnosed Miss Arias with borderline personality disorder.
Could you tell us what does that mean?
Well, borderline personality disorder is similar in what we see in teenagers, a sense of immaturity, but generally it's about instability on emotions, relationships, and personality, and of course, there's a lot of manipulation.
Thank you, doctor. No more questions.
Defense, would you like to cross-examine?
Yes, Your Honor.
You may proceed.
Mike. There it is.
Dr. DiMarti, did you review the text messages and videos between Mr. Alexander and Mrs. Arias?
Yes, I did.
So, do you agree or disagree there was a sense of abuse from Travis to Miss Arias?
First, you need to know the
I'm
definition
asking if you agree or disagree.
If you let me explain
I
it,
think it's pretty clear, the definition of abuse. So, do you agree or disagree?
I can answer that if you don't
No
let
further
me.
questions, Your Honor.
Witness, you are dismissed. The defense could call the next witness.
The defense calls Alice Lavalle to the stand. Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear to say the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God.
So help me God.
Please state your name for the record.
Alice Lavalle. Please say your generals.
Okay, I'm Alice Lavalle. I'm a domestic violence expert. I have 29 years of experience in my field.
Miss Lavalle, what evidence could you give us to prove the abusive behavior of Mr. Alexander?
I came across with some emails sent by Chris and Sky Hughes, which they were advertising Jodi, that Travis had some abusive relationships before with his ex-girlfriends, and he also had commitment issues.
So, what is your conclusion?
I came to the conclusion that yes, Jodi was abused by Travis.
Thank you. No more questions, Your Honor.
The state, would you like to cross-examine?
No, Your Honor.
The witness is dismissed. The state, can you call your next witness?
The state calls Elizabeth Norquist to the stand.
Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear to say the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God.
So help me God.
Please state your name for the record.
Elizabeth Norquist.
Okay, before I begin to interrogate this witness, I would like to establish something that might be relevant to this testimony. Weeks before Mr. Alexander was killed, a gun from Miss Arias' grandparents' house was reported as stolen and had not been found. I will proceed to show you the probability that this last gun is the same that killed Mr. Travis Alexander. Now, Your Honor, I ask permission to show evidence exhibit number 2.
You may proceed.
The light?
As we can see, this is a photo that shows the casing of the bullet that killed Mr. Travis. Now, as a forensic firearm examiner, what can you say about the case later that you examined it?
It has a hand dent with 25 Autumn. That indicates that the casing is designed to be fired from a 0.25 Autumn.
And how much does a 0.25 bullet weigh?
Typically 50 grains.
And how much did the bullet retrieved from Travis Alexander's cheek weigh?
44.8 grains. But
So-
when a bullet has been shot, it can lose weight.
Okay. So, the casing recovered from the victim's bathroom and the bullet found in Travis Alexander's cheek, they were both 0.25 caliber in size.
Yes.
Okay, no more questions, Your Honor. Thank you.
Defense, would you like to proceed with a cross-examine?
No, Your Honor.
Witness, you're dismissed. The defense may call their next witness.
The defense calls Lisa Daldon to the stand.
Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear to say the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God?
So help me God.
Please state your name for the record.
Lisa Daldon.
Could you identify yourself for the record?
Yes, my name is Lisa Daldon and I'm Travis Alexander's ex-girlfriend.
How would you describe your relationship with Mr. Alexander?
Okay, so we met as friends. So at the beginning he was very nice with me and he take care of me and all that. But then he became so possessed with me and obsessed. He also had plans of marrying and we were just in our third month of relationship.
And why did you end it?
Because there were strange things happening and also I knew that he was cheating on me.
Did you know he was no longer virgin?
I didn't knew. It was a real shock for me when I found out.
And when did you find out?
After he was dead.
Thank you. No further questions, Your Honor.
Prosecutor, would you like to start the cross-examination?
Yes, Your Honor.
You may proceed.
Thank you. So, Miss, you were being asked about how you were grieved about the fact that he might be cheating on you with the defendant.
Yes.
And you were asked about how many times he had been cheating, right? You were asked about that, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you think that it's appropriate, given everything that they planned that he put you through? Do you think that it's appropriate to take a knife and slash somebody's throat?
Objection, relevance.
Sustained.
Okay, ma'am. Regarding to everything that he put you through and how you feel, do you think that doing this to a person is correct?
Objection to that being shown. That's completely irrelevant.
Sustained.
No more questions, Your Honor.
The witness is dismissed. Well, you can bring your next witness.
The prosecution calls Michael Allen to the stand.
Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear to say the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God?
Help me God.
Please state your name for the record.
Michael.
Mr. Allen, according to your experience, do you consider that Ms. Arias is able of killing anyone?
Yes, I do. She never showed up to be a very stable person, and she can easily get mad and making atrocities.
And during your time beside Jodi, did you experience any kind of violence with his behavior?
Of course, there were times where she got kind of jealous, and she turned into just another person. She even, in times, threatened me with knives and things like that.
Thank you. No more questions.
Does the defense want to cross-examine?
No, Your Honor.
Witness, you are dismissed. The defense may call their next witness.
The defense calls Jodi Arias to the stand. Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear to say the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God? Please state your name for the record.
Jodi Arias.
Wow, Ms. Arias. Did you kill Travis Alexander on June 4, 2008?
Yes, I did.
Why?
Because he attacked me and I defended myself.
Do you remember saying that no jury will convict you?
Yes.
Why did you say that?
I said that in 2008 because I was planning to commit suicide, and so I was extremely confident that I would never be here.
Okay. Let's talk about the gifts Mr. Alexander gave you on Valentine's Day. All present exhibit number 1 and 2.
Proceed.
Did he get you that underwear and t-shirt?
Yes, he did.
Okay. Another item that Mr. Alexander gave you was some underwear of Spider-Man. That's correct?
Yes.
And this underwear was for women, for girls, or for little boys?
It was definitely for little boys, and that made me a little confused.
Did he wish you to wear them?
Yes, he did. He wanted me to try them for him, even though they didn't fit. The leg holes were really tight.
Did you ever notice something strange or weird about Mr. Alexander's behavior or preferences?
One day, I walked in, and Travis was in the bed. He was masturbating, and that made me so embarrassed. And it was a picture of a little boy.
What was his age approximately?
He was 5, 6, kind of.
How was he dressed, the little boy?
He was in his underwear.
What did you do when you saw this?
I was frozen there for a minute. I ran and threw up in the bathroom.
How did you feel after that?
I kept thinking, what if he was hurt as a kid, and it made me angry to think of him and somebody violating him. I wanted to talk to him and find out what was going on with him.
Okay, let's back up a little bit. I'll present exhibit number 4 and 5.
You may proceed.
As you saw in the pictures, we saw some children. Miss Arias, can you tell us who they are?
Yes, it's my brother and me.
You look happy, were you?
Yes, those were really happy moments.
And why? Tell us about your childhood, please.
I used to play with my little brother. We were happy, my family and me. We were close, but then it all started to change.
Why did it change?
My mother's discipline becomes tougher, and she used to carry a wood spoon and hit us every time me or my brother did the littlest thing. But just like all the children at that age, we were naughty sometimes, but her discipline was really tough, and I was scared of her and scared of my dad.
Do you remember being hit by the spoon?
Yeah, I do.
Did it hurt?
Yes, physically it is extremely painful. My skin welts up, and emotionally it made me angry, and it made me really mad at her. And she just began to get angrier and even tougher and severe in the way she disciplines us.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Would the prosecutor like to do the cross-examine?
Yes, Your Honor.
You may proceed.
Thank you. Ms. Arias, in reference to the interview that we saw in the video that already was presented in this audience, is that in reference to the June 4, 2008 fact? Yes or no?
Yes,
And why did you change your story more than once?
because I was scared, and I didn't want it to ruin Travis's good reputation, and also I couldn't accept the fact that I killed him.
And then why did you kill him?
Again, it wasn't self-defense. He was going to kill me.
Why was he going to kill you?
Because when I convinced him to do a photo session in the shower, I was holding his camera, which was new. He recently bought it, and I accidentally dropped it. And after that, he lunges at me like a linebacker. He was this ball of fury coming at me.
Ma'am, please stand up and show me the poster of Mr. Alexander according to you.
He got down and he was just like,
No, show me. That's what I am asking you to do, not to talk.
what? He was,
Show me the linebacker pose.
okay. He got down and did this and attacked me.
Okay, thank you. So, what happens next?
I ran down the hallway and I got into a closet.
Okay, Your Honor, may I present evidence number 10?
And yes, you may proceed.
Take a look to exhibit number 10. Where were you when you were taking these photos?
Outside the shower.
Inside the shower. Mom? Mom, were you crying when you were shooting him?
I don't remember.
Were you crying when you were stabbing him?
I don't remember.
How about when you cut his throat? Were you crying then?
I don't know.
So take a look then. You're the one who did this, right? Right?
Yes.
And you're the individual that lied about all this, right? Right?
Yes.
Okay, no more questions, Your Honor.
Okay, we'll take a recess.
Okay, time now. Break.